What's up, everybody? Caleb with Mid-MichiganNow here. I'm very excited for today's interview live from the digital desk. I am joined by Jacob Powells, better known as Adventures in Aardia. Jacob is a native Michigander with over 2 million followers across all the social media platforms. His creative love for tabletop gaming has helped him turn lunchtime into a very successful series that people around the globe know as Roll for Sandwich. Jacob, thank you for taking the time today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Caleb.
Yeah, I'm so excited to talk to you today. But before we get into any questions, because believe me, I have a lot of them, I want to take a few minutes to show the people at home a little bit of your work, get to know you, get to know your content, and your sandwich sorcery, as it were. So let's play last week's episode of Roll for Sandwich, courtesy of Adventures in Aardia.
Good afternoon, D&D, TikTok, and beyond, and welcome to Roll for Sandwich, the series where I let fate decide my lunch. Let's go. Today I'm going to be using these metal cherry blossom dice that were sent in by a viewer. Thanks. Let's get things started with our roll for bread. 5 rye. Though our slices of seeded Jewish rye worked untoasted last episode, I'm going to toast them today. It's always a risky decision to choose not to invoke the toast bread cantrip, and I don't know, I feel something in the wind today. We've had an uncharacteristic amount of good sandwiches in a row, and I don't feel like taking my chances. Next up, let's roll for Maine. 6 black bean burger. Got our black bean burger heated up, and we're going to add it to our sandwich. I think I'm going to cut it in half so that I can position it a little bit more evenly on the sandwich. So there we go. That looks pretty good. Next up, let's roll for cheese. 6 champagne cheddar. Got some of this nice champagne cheddar that we used last week. It's pretty tasty, not a bad roll. It's a creamy and mild cheese with a slight sweetness. We're starting off pretty okay today. Next up, let's roll roughage. 4 pickled green beans and 9 cold dew. Apparently the dice gods decided one type of bean was not enough for this sandwich, so we're going to add some green beans to our black bean burger. At least they're pickled, and a little bit of acidity won't hurt this sandwich. Gold dew peppers are a less spicy variety of peppadew peppers from South Africa. They are also pickled and a little sweet, so pretty consistent with our flavor profile so far. Now we just got to get through the last 2 rolls. All right, let's get wild with our wild magic roll. 4 candy canes. Unfortunately, this is not the first time this has happened. Look at that little guy. Do you think he knows the horrors he's about to unleash on me? Well, Merry Christmas to me, I guess. Let's do what we've got to do here. I found that the only possible way to not break my teeth when adding candy canes to a sandwich is to crush them up. So that's what we're doing. Yay. And now we're going to let it snow, let it snow, let it snow all over our sandwich. And last but not least, it's the D20 sauce roll. Here we go. 3 butterscotch pudding. Okay, so we already have candy canes, so I guess we're just gonna fully send this thing. Ugh. Just pretend it's like mustard or, I don't know, Chipotle sauce. I don't know. All right, let's get this one closed up. Get our toothpicks in to hold it together, and let's get it cut in half. And let's take a look at that cross-section. Whew. There's a lot going on here, and a lot of it was tolerable until the end there. Let's give it a taste. The peppermint is very overpowering. It pretty much tastes like you brushed your teeth and then dove into a sandwich. On the plus side, that means I can't taste the butterscotch pudding, like, at all. I think that's a plus. The black bean burger being kind of soft is not the greatest texture to have tasting like this. And both of the pickled vegetables are also kind of mushy. Not really any crunch here except for the bread. It's not a fun one. A 1.3 is about all I can give it, and I'm going to call it Candy Cane Pain. All right, Earl, here you go. Good mimic. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I hope you have a great weekend, and I'll see you again on Monday.
That was a rough one.
Yeah, definitely.
So tell me a little bit about what first inspired you to create this series.
Well, I was just started my TikTok was focused on D&D, and I in D&D often when you're DMing or setting up things, you'll use random tables to create encounters and things like that. You know, you might roll on a table of different monsters to pick a monster for people to fight. And so I was doing that kind of stuff behind the scenes and was trying to think of something fun to put onto my channel. And I was also a stay-at-home dad at the time. So there were only certain times when I could film. And one of the best times to film was when my toddler was in her high chair eating lunch. And so I had just gone to the store. I had a bunch of stuff. She was, contained. And I was like, maybe I'll just randomize my lunch today and put that up and see, it'll be a fun video. And I didn't think it was going to change the rest of my life, but from the first video, it took off. So then I did it again the next day.
Yeah, now we're up to what, 390 something?
Yeah, I think 350 is the next episode.
Oh, wow, that's
yeah.
fantastic. So I have to know, just because I see you take bites almost every day. I make sure I've got notifications on. I make sure I watch every day. Do you eat the full sandwich every time?
I do.
Has there ever been one so bad that you were just tempted to stop and give it all up?
I mean, I've been tempted, sure, but I've stuck it through. I mean, through some very unfortunate rolls. The last episode we did actually ended up being a smoothie, and I drank the whole thing.
Oh, goodness.
Unfortunately.
What is a surprising pairing that might sound strange to most that you found out is delicious because of the series?
Well, I would say that I think the way that we as Americans perceive peanut butter is very limiting. Like, we think of peanut butter goes with sweet things like peanut butter and jelly, but if you think about other cuisines and how they use peanut, like Thai food, you have like a peanut sauce that's spicy, that's savory. So I found that peanut butter goes with way more things than you would think. Like peanut butter and pickles, good. Peanut butter and like spicy things, like peanut butter goes well with meat. Peanut butter is very versatile.
I love a peanut butter burger.
yeah, there you go.
So you and me are in the minority of a conversation across the world that I have to agree with you with very strongly. What is it about ketchup that you despise so much? Because it is also my least favorite condiment on the planet.
I mean, here's the thing about ketchup. Like, it's fine. I feel like in every situation there is a better sauce you could use, though.
I agree.
Like, it's like, why reach for ketchup when you could reach for barbecue sauce or hot sauce? Or there's so many things where it's like there is something that fits the same situation as ketchup that is better than ketchup. So
full-heartedly agree. A lot of creators have been inspired by you, rolling for pizza, popcorn, cereal, salads, soda, a whole bunch of things. What does it mean to you that you have given inspiration to so many others and helped them build their own platforms?
I mean, it's crazy. I remember when they first started popping up and I was like, oh, this is cool. And then now it's to the point where I cannot keep them all straight. Like they've been really nice in that they all tag me in it, but that means that I don't know which ones most people actually know because I get tagged in all of them. Like, if they get no views, I still get tagged in it. So I see all of them, and there are too many to count at this point. But it's super cool to see just like people taking it, making their own. Just to be like an inspiration to people is cool. So
yeah, of course. You mentioned earlier in this interview that when you started the series that you were a stay-at-home dad at the time, and it was you and your toddler sitting down for lunch. How have you balanced the very stressful, I'm sure, days of being a daily content creator as well as fatherhood and your other daily responsibilities? How have you balanced all that?
I mean, it's been a lot. Like, it's been hard. I couldn't have done it without my wife, for sure. She's been very self-sacrificial and just helping us tackle this as a team. When I started this, we had one kid. Now we have two, so that it's been even more to manage, but it's good. And this has become throwing a funny video up on the internet to a full-time job. So, but it's been, we've made it work. We've figured out what we need to do and adjusted where we can. And, we're always looking for kind of the next way to make it work. Like, if anybody in the local area has office space for rent, like, shoot me an email because I'm looking to not work in my house if possible. Like,
Right.
yeah, we're always, like I said, looking for the next thing, just consistently doing what we can to make it work.
Yeah. I love that each time, for 300 plus episodes now, you give the sandwich a name and a rating. Are there any favorite names you've come up with over the past couple of years that stand out to you?
I mean, unfortunately, I don't have like all 350 sandwiches like memorized. But oh man, off the top of my head, there's definitely been ones that I've been like super proud of.
I'm always a fan of the punnier the better.
Yeah. That's honestly the longest part of making an episode of Roll for Sandwich is coming up with the name.
I bet.
Though, I mean, one I can think of off the top of my head it's pretty specific, but I did a partnership with Brotherwise Games, who are putting out a tabletop game based on Brandon Sanderson's works, which he's a fantasy author. And one of the things in his universe is that like a bunch of the creatures are like crabs or crab adjacent. And I just so happened to roll whole crabs, like whole little crabs in the shell on that sandwich as a complete as a complete coincidence. But there's actually a name for those little crabs in his universe. They're called Kremlings. So I got to call that sandwich the Kremling. And that was satisfying for me personally as a fan of his work and of that kind of stuff in general. So that was fun.
That's cool. What advice would you give to people that may want to start content creating but are nervous to get started? It can be very daunting in the beginning.
I mean, it's hard, I would say. I mean, there's no like guaranteed way to make it. It takes a little bit of luck, but I would say it's not sustainable if you don't enjoy it. Like if you're just doing it to try and like have income or something like that, like it's not gonna be fun. It's gonna hurt you in the end, honestly. Like if it's something that's fun and you enjoy it, like then it's worth it, because if you still like at the end of the day, you're like, I had fun even if like not that many people watched my content,
Yeah.
I feel like that's the place you have to be and in order to have it work when you do succeed. Like
it's clear that when passion is there, the content is there.
Because I mean, if I didn't like what I was doing here, I would have burned out so long ago. Because it doesn't like you get fun like opportunities and stuff like that, but like it's not all sunshine and roses. Like
I'm sure.
it gets to the point where you're like, this is dumb. But I do really enjoy it, so that brings me back.
Good.
That's good.
What does it feel to have so many fans supporting you that you've had to open a PO box and people are sending you items from around the world, including some really unique and awesome dice that I've been quite jealous of from time to time? Are there any favorite items that stand out to you?
Oh yeah, I mean, I've had several like dice makers like make me like bespoke sets of dice. Some more interesting than others. One of them included. She says they were fake human teeth. I hope. I mean, I trust her, but I've used that for some Halloween episodes in the past. But like people will send me like they've like crocheted like big dice, or I had actually another series on TikTok, Roll for Puppet, make me a puppet of a sandwich, which was really cool. Anything that people make stuff all the time, handmade stuff, or send me, like you said, cool ingredients. It's insane. Like I went to Iceland not that long ago. And I just threw up a video. I'm like, well, if there's anybody there that cares about my content. We can do like a meet and greet, and that'd be cool. And there were like over 50 people there, and
Wow.
I've never been to Iceland before. Like, I was like, I have no idea if I even have enough people that want to come see me, and the room was full, and it was a great event. So like being able to do that, to like have people from, you know, all the way across an ocean, places that
Right.
I've never been to, that like consistently watch my content and keep up with me, is insane.
You know, you have to buy a lot of food
Yes.
to make this series plausible and interesting every single time. Have you ever run into food expiring and going to waste, or have you ever rolled an item that you then found out was expired and had to eat it anyway?
I try really, really hard not to waste food. You know, if I'm buying stuff, I'm trying to manage, like, I I will that's why I keep my lists to a certain amount. Like, people ask me like, why don't I roll a d20 for every single thing? And it's like, that would require me to have 20 different cheeses in my house,
Oh
and I
man,
can't eat 20 different cheeses before they go bad.
you're going to go up to 4 to 5 slices of sandwich.
Yeah, so but like, I'll buy things that are pickled, or things that have long shelf life, or, you know, keep things on the list that I'm trying to make sure get used until they get rolled, things like that. I would say that for the most part, I've been pretty good at avoiding having to throw things away. If things are starting to get close, I'll like put them up on like a buy nothing group or something like that. Like, hey, is there anybody who wants to come get this free food? Stuff like that. You know, try to make sure it gets used however I can. Um, you know, there's been stuff that I've ordered that has arrived bad. But luckily I haven't eaten anything that has arrived bad, to my knowledge. That's been pretty apparent when I get it, that it's not meant to be used. Um, yeah, I don't think I've eaten anything spoiled yet. So that's good.
Sometimes the dice spoil your sandwich anyway, so we don't need that on
Yeah,
our.
yeah.
So I mean this with absolutely zero shade thrown. But you are the first person in my life, and maybe I'm just not in the know, that I've seen freeze bread. Is that something common that has
I'm
been passed down through your family? That's just something that
I
you knew, or
mean,
is this something because of the show?
I know my parents do it. Like, I don't it doesn't seem weird to me. Uh Especially like, so bread only lasts for, you know, like a
Right.
week. And so if it's getting towards the end of the week and it looks like we're not going to use it, I toss it in the freezer, and
Mm-hmm.
it's honestly like, doesn't seem any different when you thaw it. Like, you can just put a couple slices on the counter and leave
Mm-hmm.
them for a little bit, and they'll be normal. Or you can just toss them in the toaster if you're not
Right.
wanting to wait for them to thaw. Yeah,
Because of this, I've started freezing like onion buns and different things
mm-hmm,
that I never would have thought to do that in my life. So
mm-hmm.
you taught
Yeah,
me something.
there you go.
So wrapping up here, your success has allowed you to partner with many other creators across multiple platforms. One of my favorite creators that you've partnered with being Sir Superhero, that you got to play the campaign minor
Mm-hmm.
infractions. Tell
Yes.
us a little bit about what it's been like to collab with so many others, and really build a community.
I mean, super, super cool. That's one thing that, like, I hope that TikTok doesn't go away. You know, there's the possibility that it's being banned next month, and uh, I have not experienced another platform that has been such a community as TikTok has. And it's led to some really cool things, like you said, getting to do, like, getting to play D&D online with people has been super cool. Speaking of Sir Superhero, we just recorded uh, another D&D series together, so that'll be
Oh,
coming out
hey,
in the
if
coming
you want
month.
to slide him my contact, I'd love to have him on next.
Um, but yeah, it's been super cool and I've met so many people through it. Uh, People that, like I said, even if TikTok goes away, I will still have those relationships. So
It's great. It's been able to build through this content that you've created for so many people across the world. So I really appreciate the time today, Jacob. Thank you so much for joining us. Please give us a plug. Where can we find you?
Rollforsandwich.com will take you to all of my socials, TikTok, and all of the other ones in case TikTok isn't here anymore. So, but yeah, follow me everywhere that you want to follow me, and see me make some good sandwiches and some not so good sandwiches.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you for joining us. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.